Hi, I'm Josh.
I'm Brayden.
This week we're gonna get into stories about Netatmo indoor security camera getting an update. Amazon Eero got an update, and Ecobee Secure Cam, and then a fully smart automated home. So some exciting news this week. Let's dive into it. The Netatmo Smart Indoor Camera has added HomeKit secure video support. Uh, First off, I just have to say, there, someone needs to fix their spacebar. Whoever's typing up the blog articles
Oh,
on
yes,
Netatmo,
definitely.
there's like missing spaces in a lot of spots. Um, but anyway, I know the device is a little bit older, but they did go ahead and release a new firmware that you can go grab right now, put on that indoor security or indoor smart camera, and it'll move it to be HomeKit secure video compatible device. So then you could, instead of like streaming to the Netatmo cloud, actually I think these things have an SD card
Oh, yes.
on them. I wonder how that works with the HomeKit secure video. Does it say in the blog? But anyway, now it'll stream to iCloud and save that to iCloud for you. Um, it will. I've heard some negative things about like the interface for like finding and saving videos isn't the best in HomeKit Secure Video yet. Hopefully that'll get better. But and then like there's no timestamps on the videos, which could be potentially problematic if you're um, trying to use them for legal purposes in the U.S. I think a lot of places want timestamps for it to be admissible. Can you see anything on that?
I'm not
No?
really seeing anything now.
Okay. I'd assume it still writes to the SD card, but will also now write to the cloud, which is kind of nice. You know,
Yeah.
it's like bonus functionality. When you bought this thing, you didn't know this was gonna happen, and here you go. You get something great. So kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about that Amazon Eero.
This is very cool to me because I just I don't know. Are there other routers that do things like this that allow
Not yet, but they're gonna be more, right? So Vella Op
Mhm.
is working on one, but this is a feature that Apple came out with. So
Yeah.
it's really just people supporting the really the kind of like SDK, or I don't know what you call it, the API that Apple has set out. But Eero released their HomeKit Secure Router update, and so now you can add it to HomeKit, and then you can control all your devices and like what they're doing on the internet. So
Yeah. And then you can also with the um automatic which one is it? The that allows it to just start recording. It is automatic that it logs everything that
oh yeah,
all
I
the
think it logs
devices.
everything anyway. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, if you're there's three modes, right? So there's you want to talk about that?
Yeah, restrict to home, which devices can only interact with HomeKit and nothing else, basically.
Yeah.
And that will actually restrict your firmware updates. So if you want it to update, you kind of have to turn that off and then update it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that's just, I mean, it's a little bit annoying, but not too much. And then there's automatic, which just allows it limited access to the internet.
Right. I think it's like manufacturer recommended websites or URLs or endpoints that they can hit
Hmm.
essentially.
And then just no restriction. It can see everything on your internet.
Yeah. Yeah. So there were a lot of question marks around like how's this gonna work, and like the initial documentation came out, said you're gonna have to wipe out basically your entire setup and re-add them through HomeKit once you get the router set up. It turns out that's not the case. At least with the Eero, everything shows up automatically in the interface, and you can control it. You don't have to like delete and re-add, which is nice. Like that would be a big pain. I feel like that would take me like a whole weekend to recover if I had to do that. But I did really like the screenshots that I saw that had like a log of these are the endpoints that this particular device was hitting. It would be nice if in the future you could have like a plus minus next to it and be like, I want to like whitelist this or blacklist this. It would be really handy, I think, to be like, well, I don't think my Philips Hue needs to hit Google. But it's really kind of interesting to see, like, in a very synced place, like, what are all the calls this device is making. This is something that we could probably set up with Ubiquiti, I guess that's how you say it, like their networking equipment, but that's more of like a prosumer or like almost a professional level of networking gear. Like this Eero is just something that people just buy, right? Like everyone's like, oh, you should go buy a mesh system that'll like fix all your Wi-Fi problems. And so a lot of people have these in their house. So it's kind of cool to see this upgrade come along. And I'm glad we're starting to get some of these questions answered about how HomeKit secure router is actually going to work. So
yes,
it actually got me looking at the Vella Op. Like I'm not a fan of having more Amazon stuff in my house, to be honest. So definitely looking at the Vella Op and hoping. I mean, I might pull the trigger on getting some of their mesh system stuff. So I don't know. It's pretty cool, and makes it a lot easier to like get a more advanced and more secure setup on your network that's not necessarily like going all the way over the edge and like setting up VLANs and separate access points and all that kind of stuff just to try to like make your network more secure and separate out your like HomeKit stuff from your main network. Because we've talked about it before, right? Like that Philips Hue, hack. You could take over a bulb, and then when they reset the bulb and rejoin it, they could take over the hub, and then Bob's your uncle. They got all your passwords everywhere. No, not really. All right. What else we got? Ecobee. I was a little surprised at this one. I didn't know they were making a security camera. So if you haven't heard of Ecobee, they make the thermostats. I think that was their first product. I'm a pretty big fan of it. I think I still like the Nest better. I think we've talked about that before, but and then they make a light switch as well that has like Alexa integrated. I think the Ecobee 4 thermostat has Alexa integrated into it as well. But it's kind of interesting. Oh, how much is that? The light switch?
The light switch is regularly $80, but right now it's 42% off at $46.70.
Yeah.
Kind of pricey, but you are getting Alexa integrated with it, so those usually cost you around like $40 for just an Echo.
I wish Apple would allow you to like embed Siri into other places. Like, is it that hard? I mean, they've already got a mic and a speaker in that. It'd be really nice to be like, flip a switch and say, I want Siri in there instead of, Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry if we're setting off all your devices. Anyway, so this was just an FCC filing from Ecobee. Shows off the secure camera that they're coming out with. It looks pretty small, pretty inconspicuous. My guess is it will also have Alexa support in it. And in the FCC filing, they have the HomeKit code drawn out, so I'm assuming that'll go on the back side of it. But it's got the HomeKit QR tag on it, so I think we'll definitely see it. We don't know yet whether it'll have secure video support. I would imagine it would. I mean, in this day and age, I don't know why you'd be putting out a camera that doesn't. Seem like that'd be a pretty big mess. Maybe they'll put it out and follow up with a firmware not long after. Who knows? But it looks like it'll have motion detection on it as well, so that's kind of nice. And it's not a bad looking camera. I think I like the Eve better. But sometimes it comes down to pricing too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. All right. A fully automated HomeKit Home. I find this very cool.
Isn't that what I have? I have a fully automated HomeKit home.
I mean, this is like next level.
Oh, okay.
Because, well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
This house is pretty automated, but this is
automated.
like
Barely automated.
this is like just minute tasks can be automated.
Yeah. This thing was very impressive.
And it is targeted. Well, this one specifically is targeted toward people with disabilities. And
yeah, it's from a company called Casa Capace in Australia.
yes.
So they showed off to the public last week the house, and we'll link to in the show notes to the iMore article. If you're interested in what we're talking about right now, I would definitely go over and look at the article. They have great pictures. There's some video recordings in there that kind of show you everything that's going on. And I did a little bit of digging. It looks like they're using something called Bush Jaeger system, and they have a couple different things that you can install, but it looks like there's an ABB iBus KNX, and it's this KNX system that works with HomeKit. It's got a bunch of different controls, so you can use like voice control, or they have panels and switches you can install, all kinds of sensors. But that's kind of the core of what this thing is. But they have a lot of stuff in there.
They really do, like from automated doors to like kitchen countertops that raise and lower, like what else? Occupancy sensors in all the bathrooms.
Well, probably all the rooms, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is nice. You can say like, "Hey Siri, is someone in the bathroom?" and she'll be like, "Yes, the bathroom is occupied." Yeah, I don't know. That would be kind of fun to do. Like, you could hook up the motion sensor to a light outside the bathroom to let people know, like, "Hey, someone's in there." Get like one of those little on air lights and turn that on. But no, it's really fascinating to me. Like, they've got like basically a smart desk motor that's like raising and lowering kitchen countertops and stuff, which is kind of cool. Like, I wouldn't even think about that, but it'd be nice to be able to automate a lot of that kind of stuff going on around your house. Like, I've got a stupid standing desk here, but having a smart standing desk sounds fun. Maybe that's a weekend project for us. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely go take a look at the article for sure. There's a lot in there. They said, I think Daniel, the guy that we were talking to, said that there's over 100 devices kind of in the house handling all the automation, which is kind of cool. Maybe not the biggest, but I know for me, like, a big concern is reliability, right? Like we bought that VocoLink SL2, and like that thing just every day it was just dropping out of HomeKit. So it's like, gosh, it's terrible. Other people have that same thing and it works fine for them. So I think they've moved to like this Bush Jaeger is a little more like, I don't know, prosumer level or like, commercial grade level. And they even use like the door hardware. Like, they can say like, hey, open the bedroom door, and it can actually open and close the door, and that's all commercial grade stuff. So definitely worth checking out. I think definitely feel like my house is inadequate compared to this thing now after seeing it. But hey, #life goals. Yeah, I guess that's all we have this week. So I want to say, if you are a first-time listener, welcome. And we do this every week. And if you are a return listener, we really appreciate you coming back. And if you haven't yet, be sure to hit subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. And if you do have an Apple account and you want to leave us a review, we are very appreciative of those as well. Looks like we got a new one.
Yeah. This one from APB. I love podcasts. I like how it says it's 5 minutes, but it's more. That's so awesome and abstract. Keep up the grind, gamers. Get that bread.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. I say that, or you read that as we're at 15 minutes right now. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. When I said HomeKit 5, I think the goal was 5 minutes or maybe 5 stories, but we do 4 stories in 15 minutes. So very, very funny. Yeah, so we appreciate those reviews if you leave those for us. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. That's helpful too. And you can hit that subscribe button, 2020 style, smash it like Peter McKinnon says. And we'll be back next week. We do have, as far as upcoming stuff goes, we're gonna work on an automation video this week. We'll record one right after this, just like simple, like hooking up a sensor to a light and like how does that work, or like time of day automation. So if you like haven't gone into the HomeKit automation very much, we'll give you some basics there of the things that we're doing around the house. And then we also did a behind the scenes video real quick as we were setting up here today. We talk about our shortcuts workflow and how we get stories ready, and like all this podcasting gear that's around us. If you're watching on the video, you can kind of see some of it. We just talk about that. So anyway, if you do hit that like button, if we get enough likes, we may go back and do a more in-depth walkthrough of the shortcuts that we're using as we try to move to this like totally iPad-based setup for our podcasting. So thanks for tuning in.